दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ ಚೆನ್ನೈ
এক্সপ্রেস পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন।
Legally, worldwide, you're only allowed to be happy on a Monday if there's some cricket involved. And that's why we're here. Your happiness jockeys for today, distributing it like Santa on Christmas. Because we're kids in a candy store, because there's cricket. And there's only one game today, because the double headers, they tend to get a little exhausting. I know for the players, but for us as well. Spare a thought for us old dogs in this air-conditioned studio with the best food in the world available. But anyway, enough about my misery. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Joy Bhattacharya and Lisa Sthalekar. Hello, hello, hello! I don't know why I'm shouting. You guys are right here.
We're right here.
I'm just so used to you guys being, on virtual, and Lisa, especially you, or a hologram or something. So that's why.
No hologram.
She is a hologram.
Are you real? Are you in Sydney right now?
No, I am here, and I am so happy that I'm back here in the studio.
First, of course, there's our stellar company and these beautiful chairs. But more than anything else, you're happy that this game is not starting at midnight for you.
And finishing like at 6 a.m. and then trying to sleep. So, yes.
Time for a quick buffet breakfast and then some sleep. All right, I'll tell you who hasn't slept. All of Chennai. They haven't slept out of just sheer excitement all weekend because the prodigal son is coming home after ages. Joy, of course, has calculated the exact number down to the hour, the minute.
No, but 1427 days. I had that.
Yeah,
and I looked it up.
I knew you had it.
I looked it up.
I'll tell you something. We hadn't discussed this. We had not discussed this.
I can attest to that, yes.
And we hadn't, because we don't discuss anything. Certainly hadn't discussed that before the show.
Can you tell?
But 1427 days. And, it's not just the Chennai fans who are excited to see him back at Chepauk. I'm sure that he will be excited to be back at Chepauk as well, not just for emotional reasons, joy, but for cricket reasons.
Absolutely. I mean, his record at the Chepauk has been absolutely outstanding. And remember, this is such a fantastic record, more than 1362 runs at the ground. That too in a time where he's missed 2 years out here in the middle because, Chennai was not there for 2 years in the league.
Correct. Seasons 9 and 10.
Correct. They've missed 3 years literally because of, COVID and its aftermath. So literally in that period, he's just scored so many runs and batting where? Batting at 6, batting at 7. I mean, that is unbelievable. If for an opener to get those runs, you can understand. To bat at his position and get those runs at that clip is unbelievable.
I think Lisa, that's a good word for MS Dhoni in general. Unbelievable.
Yeah, most of the things that he does, whether it be him keeping calm and cool out in the middle as a skipper and leading his warriors out there, but then to finish off innings. And you whilst he's still there, I mean, the equation may be 16, 17, 20 runs, but whilst he's out there in the middle, you just think, hang on, there's a twist here. He's going to get it down to the last over, the last 3 balls, the last ball, and then a lot of the time he comes home with the cookies.
I have to tell you, during this COVID time and all, I wrote a book on Dhoni. And what I tried to do is get together all these opinions of Dhoni. And I remember, I finally had to write one article where I was talking about my personal belief. And I remember this was, I think, 2010. And the IPL's in full swing. And all day, all evening, there have been 3 discussions about Dhoni, what we're going to do, how we're going to plan against CSK. They're coming to town and all that. And then somebody piped up and said, what would Dhoni be doing? And then everybody started laughing because they said he's probably had a glass of milk and gone off to sleep. He's certainly not worrying about what we are thinking about.
He's in the business of giving sleepless nights, not having them.
Absolutely.
And especially in Chepauk, because this team gives everybody a sleepless night in Chepauk when you're about to play there, because it is unbreachable. I have allowed that word. As you know, I don't allow the other F word to be used over here. Yeah. But what is unbreachable? No, I'm not saying it. But yeah, there you go. It is the F word because it's 40 out of 56. So that's a 70+% win percentage.
Yeah, it's huge. And no doubt Chennai are excited the fact that they can actually come home and play. And you look at last year's campaign. And when they select their squad, it's all about creating and getting players that are going to be very effective for home. Because obviously you want to win all your games at home, and they didn't get that opportunity for the last few years. So now they can kind of unleash those players that are good on those spinning tracks, your workers and timers of the ball, and then start their winning campaign, really, because they're searching for points.
Yeah, they are. They did lose the opening game against Gujarat, but there was one guy who was the star of their batting effort. And we'll get to him in a second with Ruturaj Gaikwad. But let's just quickly tell you who has won the toss. It's Lucknow who have won the toss, and they have decided to bowl first. I mean, I don't know why we even have to tell you what they've decided to do, because now it's 6 out of 6.
6 out of 6.
6 out of 6.
The results are 3-2.
Yeah,
so far.
three in favor of,
team
so only
batting
2 in favor of chasing.
Absolutely. But I think one of the reasons they do it is because nobody knows the pitches that well up front. So you're saying, okay, let them bat, then we'll get a sense of how much this pitch can give. And I think that's one of the assumptions they have. The other is they don't know whether dew is coming or not coming.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you want to bowl first. But KL Rahul, well, if Chennai and Chepauk bring the best out of CSK, Chennai, the team, CSK, brings the best out of KL Rahul, doesn't it, Lisa?
Yeah, look at those numbers. They're pretty impressive. I mean, 4 half centuries, still searching for his 100 against them, but the strike rate is impressive, 142, the average as well. I mean, we know he churns out runs for fun.
Yeah.
And he just keeps piling them on. But to do it, and I think he's the type of player that rises against stronger opposition, or he wants to impress other players within the team. And there's no bigger guy than Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So, he wants to always put his best foot forward, and he does so.
Yeah. Sorry, you were adding
No,
something?
just to add to that again, I wanted to say that the other thing is that if you see Chennai, they haven't really had a gun fast bowler up front for a very long time.
Yeah, true.
So which means that what happens is their opening bowlers, other than Deepak Chahar, who can swing the ball away a bit, are not really of ours. The Trent Bolts of the world are not there. The first over maestros are not there. So he gets a little bit of time to settle. He's one of the best players of spin in the world. So if they bring spin on early, and Chennai plays a lot of spin. So Chennai also suits him as a team to go against. Chennai tends to suit him. And one of the things is that he is like David Warner, a person who plays the averages very well. Even David Warner, they do not take unnecessary risks. They put away the bad balls, and they know how to play that game. So if you don't get him up front, he's going to get your 50s and 60s. That's what he's done against Chennai.
They have another guy also that will get you up front, and that's his opening partner, Kyle Mayers. And he showed last time that you guys are missing Quinny. Don't worry, I won't let you miss him. I'll show you how this is done. But let's see the 11 that they're taking out onto the ground today. Don't think there's going to be any changes, is there? Well, let's just have a look. There you go. That's Lucknow's playing 11. The one change is Yash Thakur, and he comes in for... Let me have a look. Who's he coming in for? Yes? Anybody? Somebody?
Anyone?
Anybody? I'll take any answers right now. Meanwhile, I'll go from the top. KL Rahul, the captain, Kyle Mayers, Marcus Stoinis, Deepak Hooda, Krunal Pandya, Nicholas Puran, Ayush Badoni, Mark Wood, Yash Thakur, Ravi Bishnoi, and Avesh Khan. So Jaydev Unadkat is the correct answer.
Jaydev Unadkat, of course.
I'm surprised though, because his kind of katoris, as we call them, right? His little is that it could be quite effective over here, but I don't know. Maybe they are bowling first, so he would not be their sub. They'll sub in a batter later. So that means this is their bowling attack. So let's have a look at that again. And Joy will tell us a little more about Yash Thakur, if he can, including his zodiac sign and his Aadhaar card number.
I wish I knew.
But of course, the story there, Lisa, is Mark Wood and his 5-4 in the last game. This is not a pitch that is ideal for Mark Wood, but does that even matter?
No, I don't think it matters, because an out-and-out strike weapon who bowls heat, doesn't matter if the pitch is a little bit slower, it's still going to be quicker than everyone else, right?
Correct, yes.
So it's going to cause some problems anyway. And if he can get the ball to nip around like he did, he's going to be a handful. But Yash Thakur...
Vidarbha, he's a Vidarbha cricketer.
He's Sage Mushtaq, he got 15 wickets, economy 7.7.
Fast bowler, decent fast bowler. Vidarbha's done well. He also plays pretty decent red ball cricket. Also, he's pretty decent at.
It's quite interesting, the change they've made. I don't know if there's a niggle or something, but it's interesting because Yash Thakur, I'm guessing, is slightly quicker than Jaydev Unadkat.
Most people are quicker than Jaydev. Jaydev is not the fastest.
But that's not Jaydev's strength, right?
That's not Jaydev's strength.
Jaydev's strength actually would get optimized on this surface. So I'm quite interested to see.
Yeah, and also he's the type of guy, and we saw it when he went for that heavy auction for Rajasthan Royals. He almost got the yips, didn't he? Yeah. So he's the type of player, I think, where you probably need to nurture and care, especially at the start of a season, to get him feeling good and contributing. And then, then you can maybe chop and change. But I guess we'll see whether...
Yeah, not to be today. Let's have a look at the Chennai playing 11. Chennai does not chop and change. Have they held true to their word? Yes, they have. This is what they always do. Doesn't matter if they win or lose. They go with an 11 that they've gone with, and they tend to stay consistent. Devon Conway, this is the kind of pitch, this is the kind of surface that he would like, or he can kind of optimize his strength on. Rituraj Gaikwad, who's been in fabulous form. And then if we show the 11 again, there's Moeen Ali, there's Ben Stokes. Now, Ben Stokes is not bowling, remember, because of his knee. So that's a concern for them. Ambati Raidu, Shivam Dubey, Ravindra Jadeja, MS Dhoni, Mitchell Santner, Deepak Chahar, and Rajvardhan Hungargekar. The Hungargekar games. I liked him last game, Joy.
No,
I liked him.
He bowled well. And again, Hungargekar is regarded as a very decent bat. For him to be slotted at number 11, Deepak Chahar can bat. This team can bat all 11.
Yeah, I think they can bat till 14.
Yeah,
just keep going.
And then they can just have an impact substitute of a bowler, decide whether it's going to be a fast bowler or a spinner coming in. Yeah. But they could do that. They could place 4 spinners in this track.
Well, here's the thing. They can bat till 11. But last time it was just one guy in the 11 who batted.
It was
just Rituraj.
And the rest really didn't provide much. And I think they only struck it just over 100 as well. So not the ideal start that Chennai would have wanted. And then you can see the others, 78 runs, Ruturaj 92. So, yes, whilst it's great that he's gotten off to a flyer, everyone else just needs to come to the party.
Yeah. Sometimes can this happen? You've got so many batters that everybody's thinking, no problem, next guy.
A little bit.
No problem, next guy.
But I think it's also about the coaching and what they want them to do and the style of play. And, each year in the IPL, we start to see teams going harder and harder, and there's certain phases they want to win. So maybe something, the conversation with Stephen Fleming and Dhoni and the rest of the team is they want to play a certain style. Maybe Ruturaj could potentially be the glue and everyone else goes around him. And if it comes off, it comes off.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. We may have discussed Chennai's approach, their backroom approach to their batting for 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes more than they would have discussed it.
But I'll tell you one thing. I have a theory out here. And I believe Chennai is a better chasing team.
Okay.
Because Dhoni likes to know where he's going. He likes to know, okay, this much is there, okay, I can do it. I'll play these balls and I'll just allow them to feel happy and optimistic. Then I'll hit 3 sixes and make them cry. That's Dhoni, for you. But here, I think he struggles a bit for them to understand, okay, what is a good total? Is it 160? Is it 180? Is it 190? Yeah. And this is a brand new surface. I mean, we haven't played here for 4 years. Yeah. And all the practice matches in the world can't compensate for, out there.
Fair enough. And for that, you need some experience. Because I always go back to your story from Knight Riders that you tell, where Callis was effectively your pitch reader, wasn't he?
Yeah. He'd go there and when he'd get out, he'd say, here's a 160 pitch or a 180 pitch. Because you need to set your expectations. If you go and bat as if it's a 200 pitch, and it's actually quite treacherous, you will get out at 120. And so you need somebody there up front.
And that's not just something you make up, right? It's a legit thing. For people outside, it seems a little kind of almost outlandish that you could do that, but it's a legit thing.
No, it is. And that's why it's really important the person who's just gotten out keeps passing on that message, or at the timeout, that the rest of the batters waiting to go find out information from the 2 set players out there. So that communication is really important. But also you come to Chepauk and you know that it's not a 200 pitch. Yeah. I mean, I think the average winning total is around 165. So you've got to almost go down with your expectations. But on the flip side, if you get off to a great start, you don't go, okay, well, let's pull back. We're going a bit too fast for the 165.
No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you've got to keep going. So it's constantly having those discussions in the dugout and players being aware of that.
Correct. If they can get a 50, 60 run power play, I mean, we saw an 85 run power play yesterday with Jos Buttler and Jaiswal. You're probably not getting that at Chennai, right? I'm not jinxing them. You're probably not getting an 85 run power play. But hey, you never know, right? But they obviously have the batters. It's quite interesting. They have Moeen Ali at number 3. And I think after Suresh Raina, obviously MS likes a left-hander at number 3, a dependable left-hander at number 3. And they have played Moeen at 3. It has come off for them in a season or two. But we have we have an Ask Cricbuzz live question actually that is about that, which says that he's been an excellent finisher, right, for England in the recent past. And we've seen what he does. He can just come in the end, 3-4 overs to go. Seems like he was like, just having a knock in the net. So he's come, he's middling the ball first. And, that's the role he plays. I guess the question is he then playing out of his comfort zone, or is Chennai not optimizing him by playing him as a finisher? But then how many finishers can you have?
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about, weren't we, in the green room? It was like they've got lots of finishers and maybe they haven't been smart enough to potentially get a number 3, someone who's used to doing it. I mean, look at the numbers of when he bats 4 or lower. Strike rate is amazing, 156. The average is good, but, he's been able to get 4 half centuries as well. That's where he feels comfortable. His numbers aren't as good in that number 3 position, but there's no one else.
Yeah.
So, and he's your overseas international.
Yeah, you depend on him to do
Correct.
that. I'm just wondering, and their formula has always been those top 3 provide the bulk of their runs, from the Shane Watson, Brendan McCullum, Mike Hussey days. Top 3 will give you runs. There'll be an acceleration in the back from the likes of Bravo, Jadeja and Dhoni. And that's how they construct their innings, Raidu in the middle. That's how they play it. And here it's a bit distinct. So, look, if you put Stokes in at 3, then you have that opportunity to maybe put Moeen at 5.
So which means you have Jadeja, Moeen and Dhoni as 3 potential finishers.
And Shivam Dube.
And Shivam Dube. Shivam Dube, by the way, just looked really stuck in the last game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked like he just had the brakes on. So, I think the other problem with them is because they have so many batters, you never know what the correct batting order is. That's us sitting outside. Dhoni knows what the correct batting order is. Because the batting order, he says, is the correct batting order.
And when he wants to bat, he'll bat.
I don't know if he's going to bat too much.
No, I don't think so either. I think he understands his role of literally maybe 5 or 6 deliveries.
As a batter and running half the game from behind the stumps. That's where, and that's gold, right? I mean, in a game that can change with one wrong delivery or one wrong field placement, I think that's quite an undervalued aspect, not with him, but in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that difference, when last year when Jadeja was captain, even though Dhoni was in the field, it wasn't the same thing. You didn't feel the same reassurance saying that, see, the thing about Chennai when Dhoni is captain is, of course, it'll lose. All teams lose. Okay.
Yeah.
But you will have to beat it. It won't beat itself. And there are other teams that you look at and say that these guys are capable of making a mess. They'll snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Really? Who?
No, we're not talking about anyone.
Who are you talking about? Naughty.
But that's what never happens with Chennai. You beat them. You have to outplay them to beat them.
Yeah.
I think that's what Dhoni guarantees them, that he's going to have the smartest team playing. They're going to play hard and smart. And you just have to be better by them. They're not going to give you those chances in a platter.
So there's some key people missing for Chennai, and mostly from their bowling. And I think they're going to feel the pinch of that, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're still waiting on a number of their internationals, the Sri Lankans, to come in. I think this might be their last game that they miss out. So it's almost like they need to get through this game, and then all of a sudden they've got their full stable available, and then they're able to actually kind of put their best bowling team out on the park.
Yeah, they of course are missing Mukesh Chaudhary here, so he's not there. Then there's Hangar. I still think that they're obviously bullish on Hangar Gekar. He sat out the entire season like last year. You kept thinking he's going to get a game, he's going to get a game. I have a feeling that this is going to be his 14-game season.
Yeah, I think he's finally made it. And if Mukesh had been there, it would be a different thing. The other thing is that they can't afford to. I can understand Dhoni's frustration when he's looking at it, because he's saying, Magala got 5 wickets yesterday, and this Tikshana did really well yesterday.
Tikshana bowled a super over, didn't he?
And they're playing for different teams. They're not playing for me. They're finishing their good form for somebody else.
Yeah.
And he must be looking at it. Also, it'll be very interesting. Now those two come back. Okay, they will need, given the kind of bowlers they have, they need a fast bowler. Okay?
Correct. Now let's see the 11 now.
Just take a look at the 11.
I know what you're saying, right? Where do you make the space?
Yep.
Right? We pull the 11 up and see, because they want to. He loves playing Tikshana, and why would he not play Tikshana? I think Tikshana comes in for Santner then.
So it seems like an easy.
Okay, Tikshana comes in for Santner. They need another fast bowler. And if they need another fast bowler, it has to be either Moeen or Stokes. Because the truth of it is, Conway and Rituraj is something they don't normally tamper with their opening combinations. So if they need that extra bowler, where is it going to come from? It has to come from one of Moeen or Stokes.
Okay, let me tell you, there's a little birdie has whispered in my ear right now that Stokes somewhere has suggested that he may be bowling really soon. Maybe today, maybe next game. Because if that happens...
Maybe next summer or...
Next summer. 2000.
These Aussies, they can't miss a chance for a good sledge.
Shouldn't also. Why miss it, right? But if he bowls, I'm just saying if he does
changes
bowl,
things, doesn't it?
a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen, when Hardik wasn't bowling well, or then from an Australian point of view, Mitch Marsh, and, so those all-rounders that can bowl a heavy ball, they're valuable in T20 cricket, especially if they're batting up the top, because it gives you an extra player to figure out, do you want to go spin, do you want to go pace, do you want to go extra batter? You've got options. So they need him to bowl. I mean, and when they bought him, they expected him to bowl.
That's what they paid for.
Yeah.
That's what they paid for.
Yeah, but injuries, right? What you going to do? I mean, what has happened to Kane Williamson in the first game? And that's just tragic. I feel like, as for cricket fans, I think it's a bigger loss than it is for probably Gujarat even. And Hardik Pandya was very bullish. I know the whole, the entire management that was very bullish on him playing at 3 because that changes Hardik's role then, right? Kind of frees him up a bit. But yeah, I guess if it's an injury, it's an injury. On the other side, there are people missing for Lucknow. But the problem there is, if they come, where do you fit them in? Specifically, Quinton de Kock. When Quinny comes in, how do you tell Mayers after that last innings, and I don't know what he's going to do today, but how do you tell Mayers after that innings that, sorry buddy.
But that's the problem. But have you seen the rate at which QDK has been going?
That's true.
He has been sensational, hundreds and 40-odd balls, and he's been absolutely in the best form of his life.
Yeah.
And my point is, that's one more thing I say, that, you're looking at Mayers today, he played really well last time. Okay, how much does he play against spin is something I'd really like to see. On this surface,
we'll see.
they'll toss the ball very fast to a spinner.
We'll know because you're going to get, if not 12, right? If not 14, about 12 overs of spin, easy.
A, that. B is that spin will come early. They're not going to wait for 6 overs for spinners to come on.
Who's his GOAT? I don't think any of those spinners are power play spinners. Or Tikshana bowls in the power play for them.
Not there, yeah.
But between Moeen and Jadeja and Santner, maybe Santner?
Santner can.
Santner opens the bowling.
play.
Has
Power
opened
play.
the bowling for New Zealand.
Okay, let's have a look at the Lucknow bowling because they're going to be bowling first. It's quite interesting. They have a bit of a diverse. It's quite. Oh no, we're going to Chennai.
No,
Come back to Lucknow. Next team, other
Yeah.
team. We're looking. There you go. We look at their bowling. I mean, we spoke about Mark Wood and his 5-4 last time. I was really impressed by Ravi Bishnoi, Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a quality player. Yeah, what he's able to do with the ball is wrong, and he doesn't give the stumps away. I mean, everyone kind of follows suit with Rashid Khan, don't they? They're able to kind of hone in at the stumps, and they're able to create some opportunities. Those 2 wickets against Delhi, really important. Economy is amazing as well. So I hope that he has a big year because he's probably, I was just trying to think, what did he do last year for them?
Not much.
Yeah, 13 wickets. So, he'd want to kind of continue that.
He was their number 3 draft pick, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was their 3rd draft pick after Rahul and Stoinis. He was their 3rd.
So you want to kind of repay the faith, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. But even, tell me as a spinner, his action is so unique. Kind of runs fast. His arm is fast. It can be a little disorienting to pick up as a batter.
Yeah, I think that's the Rashid Khan effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
His arm speed is so quick. You wouldn't necessarily coach it, but these guys are picking up watching players on TV and then just going out and practicing. And because of his arm speed, those little subtle changes very hard to pick up. And that's what makes those guys very effective, especially in T20 cricket, because you don't need to move the ball a long distance. Yeah. It just has to miss the middle of the bat. That's all it has to do, and then you're in the game.
Yeah. Of course, we talk about Chepauk being spin-friendly, but in spin also, finger or wrist? Who does it assist more, Joy? I mean, they all dominate, but...
No, clearly that looks like it's just spinners out there.
The little offies, we're still.
I know you guys never get a good press.
Yeah, we don't.
Never get a good press. But no, it's an interesting one. But you've got Bishnoi at one end, and they don't.
It's not that different if you look at it. If you look at strike rate and economy both, it's only.
Yeah, and I would compare it to fast bowlers, and I'd say that there'll be a huge difference there. That will be the real
fair
difference.
enough. But between these two, it's like
Yeah.
it's like your two kids. You feel like you love one more than the other, but it's not really. I mean, I don't have any kids, but anyway. But I'm told that. But yeah, not too much between the two.
The other is, I think today is a day that between Deepak Hooda and Kunal Pandya, they'll need to give 3-4 overs to Lucknow. On this kind of a surface, if they want to control, they'll need those guys to come to the party. Because right now, last match, they didn't need them. Kyle Mayers and all could bowl. On this pitch, kind of bowling Mayers may not be as effective as they would be under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
So you'd need somebody and Pandya has not done much with the bat.
Yeah.
He needs to start contributing.
Yeah, again, two finger spinners. I mean, Chennai only has finger. Chennai has no wrist spinner. So the only wrist spinner in play today is Ravi Bishnoi, actually.
Yeah, Bishnoi
Right?
is the
So
only
Ravi Bishnoi is the only one. And what can he do today? With Mark Wood, of course, as we discussed earlier, the pitch doesn't matter. He just ends up picking up wickets wherever he bowls. And there you go. He, gets the job done since Jan 22. So that's the last 15 months. He has been effective. He's picking up wickets pretty much everywhere. And his best was in the last game where he did pick up those 5. It was his first 5-er actually, and the opposition is hoping that it's his last. Lucknow hoping it's the first of many. Yes, purple cap busy there. All right, let's have a look at the points table now, because the first weekend of games has happened. You've had everybody play one game. Where does it stack up? I'll tell you the two alarming things from there are for first Hyderabad. Hyderabad with a minus 3.6 in their first game. I mean, that was the equivalent of an innings defeat yesterday. That, and Lisa, we were discussing this, Joy, Michael and me were discussing this last night. This is as good as 2 losses, right? Because you tie with anyone, you're not coming up trumps there. No,
I mean, you don't want to start the campaign and you're behind everyone else by a long way. And also it's demoralising as well. You win the toss and you put them in and you expose yourself to... I mean,
you win the toss at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At home.
So it was interesting. I mean, I was listening to you guys discuss about the toss and if they should have batted first on a day game. They should have. But anyway, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a lot of work to do. And we know when it comes to the pointy end of the season, net run rate does count for a lot. So now they're thinking, well, which game potentially is our huge catch-up game? And then do they go extra harder? So, these are the little things that are playing out for a coach, a head coach who hasn't coached anywhere. Yeah. So he's under the pump a bit already.
Yeah, and also I've watched some games with him, I've broadcasted with him, and I always notice this about genius, Brian Lara, Sachin. These people are geniuses. Sometimes I feel they don't necessarily understand mortality. They don't understand mortals.
So right? Go out and just do this, I would do it.
It's like this great story about when first Sachin went to Australia in 1992 and he comes back and he's playing for Mumbai and he's really enthusiastic. He says, they throw in 90 meters, they throw in. And, we have to do it for Mumbai. Let's start practicing. So after about one session, the coach took him aside and said, your guys won't be able to bowl a bat if they try practicing throwing 90 meters. It's not going to happen, Sachin. They're mortals. Yeah. They're human beings. They're not you. Get this right. And he was really rueful, but they're doing it all the time. And you say, no, you are doing it all the time. Yeah. You can do it. Others can't. And you're absolutely right. It's very difficult for them to say, why isn't he scoring a century? This is an easy track.
Brian Lara, once while watching Kuldeep Yadav, was destroying West Indies and he said, what are they doing? Can't they read him out of the hand? And Oliver said, Brian, I don't think they can. Right? They're not you. Yeah. There's not too many people who are Brian Lara. There's only one. And just like I say, there's only one Joy Bhattacharya and there's only one Joy Factor question. And that is this.
Okay, easy one. Which specific tournament statistic does Praveen Kumar lead? Bhuvaneshwar Kumar the highest among active players?
I've stopped even reading the questions now because it's no
You answered some. You answered one when you didn't even know it was the answer.
By mistake. All these things happen by mistake only. Some imaginative guess and it just... it's like a broken watch is right twice a day.
So, no, it was Ajay Jadeja's birthday.
Yeah.
And something happened and the question was put there. It was about Ajay Jadeja, leading to him in a slightly, roundabout way. He said,
as I always
a hint for all of you, it's Ajay Jadeja's birthday, perhaps it's connected to it. So, when the answer comes up, Ajay Jadeja, and then the next slide
You would have gone through the roof.
No, the next answer, answer slide is answered by Gaurav Kapur.
I didn't even know I was answering it. I just said that, oh, it's Ajay Jadeja's birthday. Maybe the answer is related to him. The answer was him. Directly related to him. All right, let's quickly tell you the impact players for both teams. Who do you think is going to be subbed in? Well, of course, I'm going to guess as well. Tushar Deshpande, Dwayne Pretorius, Subhranshu Senapati, Sheikh Rashid, Ajinkya Rahane. They're going to get a bowler in, and again, Tushar Deshpande.
It has to be Tushar. Anyway, I don't even know why they're putting Dwayne Pretorius' name
I
out there
think
because they
they've
can't
just
sub in.
put Tushar Desh. I think MS and Stephen Fleming have put Tushar Deshpande, and they told somebody to fill 4 names.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Somebody's typed it out. Go and give it to them. Don't type it again.
Let's rotate through the whole squad and give everyone an opportunity
Yeah.
to be on the team sheet.
Just slowly. It's a bit like how they give captaincy to Punjab players, right? We just.
That is cruel. It's early in the season.
But
They're
once
1-0. They're up.
But once they have a new captain this year. They have a new captain every season.
They do.
Yeah, they do. It's not
Okay.
It's not an exaggeration, really. All right, quickly, the Lucknow Impact players as well. We'll try to guess who's going to be coming on for them. They are obviously going to get a batter in. So, one second, wasn't Badoni listed in the team?
I thought Badoni was
I
listed.
thought I
thought
saw
he was.
Badoni
I
listed
thought
in
I
the
was
11.
him, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one.
Or Mishra.
No, my point is that they're bowling first.
Yeah, so they're going to get a batter on.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
later. They're going to get a batter on later.
Why is
so-
that list full of bowlers then?
So Badoni then.
Unat Kurt, all of them are bowlers.
Daniel Sams, they could come in.
He
Oh, no,
can't.
he
They've
can't.
already got 4
Yeah,
foreigners.
That's right.
1 second. Have they given the wrong team sheet?
It's possible because all those papers, they
look
half the captains
confused
are
at the
really
end.
confused. Okay, this is if the batting we bat first, I give this one. This is my replacement players for impact player for batting. Somebody's got it wrong. I'm telling you that can't be. That doesn't look like a batting team.
Yeah, that looks. By the way, the game hasn't started yet, and I think Joy will be able to guess why it hasn't started. It's not the lights. The lights are on. But there is an intruder on the field at Chepauk. You know this intruder, do you? There's the
has to
little
be-
puppy that runs around. There's a little dog.
Yeah,
The famous Chepauk dog
Chepauk.
has decided that what? You've come home after 4 years? Welcome.
Hey guys, got any food? I've been waiting all this time.
4 years. So he's running around. So we've got some time to give you